What's going on, guys? Today we're here to discuss time travel and all its possibilities in The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. So, let's go ahead and get into it. I'm going to play the trailer in the background of this video as we go along. But, let's go ahead and get into what the possible possibilities are for time travel and the potential evidence in favor or against it. So, I guess one of the first things that you should look at in terms of time travel and its possibilities is the Sky Islands in general. As you can see them right here. But obviously, the Sky Islands were not um, in Breath of the Wild at all. So one of the propositions for why they are there is that we're actually in a different time period. Um, I don't necessarily fully agree with that because just the way that Aonuma moved between the the sky and the ground level in the gameplay trailer or the gameplay demonstration, it doesn't seem like it's like that at all. To be honest with you. And just the way that it's set up in the trailers, I don't think that's the most plausible idea for it. I think it's more likely that it has something to do with the cloud barrier and Skyward Sword, maybe, or the even how the cloud barrier works with the dragons in Breath of the Wild, or some other magic. I don't think that the Sky Islands just being there in general is necessarily a huge win or a huge piece of evidence. Next is the fact that the logo is an Ouroboros, which a lot of people have pointed to, can maybe point to a potential time loop or something like that. So that's definitely been something there. And now that we're at this point, let's go ahead and talk about obviously the Zonai, or what appears to be a Zonai speaking to Zelda right here. And I think that's what we all anticipate that to be. And obviously, the Zonai are, not in Breath of the Wild. They're supposed to be an ancient race that presumably is no longer around. So the Zonai talking to Zelda there is certainly interesting and can maybe hint at time travel potentially being a thing. Because obviously, how else would the Zonai be there? But there are other plausible explanations, like the Zonai were just in hiding, and maybe they are the ones that actually brought out the Sky Islands, and they were just in hiding, right? There's a lot of plausible potential explanations there. Another thing that I've seen people mention is Link's clothing in, like the trailers, especially when he's in the Sky Islands or diving down. Um, it looks very primitive or ancient, and maybe he does start in the past or something like that, and that's why he has those clothes. So that's definitely seen, or something I've been seeing people mention. Okay, before we get too much further, I do want to say like the video if you like it, and subscribe for more, because I'm going to be putting out a lot more Tears of the Kingdom content as we get closer and once the game releases. So I do encourage you all to please subscribe for more. I've gotten a huge boost in viewership the past two videos, and I really like to see you guys come over and subscribe and continue to watch. But anyways, let's go ahead and keep it going. So, there's a few more pieces of evidence that are worth mentioning and talking about before I really get into my own opinion on this, at least further. But that's actually really important. So let's go ahead and go back to what that was just now. And I'm just going to say, go ahead and listen to Zelda right here.
Link, you must find me.
Okay. And so she says, Link, you must find me. And that's really interesting because obviously there really shouldn't be any issue for Link finding her just based on her location. I believe most people have tracked that she's around the Great Plateau, and that scene. Um, so there really shouldn't be any issue in terms of Link finding her. But she says, "You must find me," like he's having trouble doing so, or something like that. So that's really interesting. It could definitely point to her potentially being in a different sort of dimension or even time period than Link. So yeah, that's definitely one of the stronger pieces of evidence I think so far. Um, there's also, of course, the Zelda lookalike character, which I'll go ahead and bring up here. If you give me 1 second. Okay, and here is the Zelda lookalike, and there's been a lot of discussion about what this character or who this character is. Um, and the sort of reason that people have mentioned a Zelda lookalike, because obviously this character has very distinct differences from Zelda. She has a darker skin tone, her ears are a lot bigger. Um, she has markings or makeup under her eyes, jewelry across her forehead. There's a lot of differences between that, but the earrings are way too similar to not at least uh, give some thought about it, because she is wearing very similar earrings that we see Zelda wearing in this trailer. And then also her necklace, you see a tear around it, and it's glowing yellow, which we also see Zelda hold a tear that is glowing yellow earlier in the trailer. So, who the fuck is this? That is the question. So, this character definitely has people really considering time travel, and what their thoughts on this is that it's actually a past Zelda. There's also been thoughts about Hylia. I don't think it's Hylia, um, mostly because of a lot of stuff that has been kind of brought to my attention through watching Ratatosker's videos, which I'll link the one where he really mentions this character and why he doesn't think this is Hylia, but I agree with him for the most part, mostly because of what Demise says in Skyward Sword about Hylia not looking like a mortal character. But yeah, I'll go ahead and link that in the description. So yeah, I don't think this is Hylia, and the similarities to Zelda are definitely like there, and they're prominent enough to give thought to. So I think this character is most likely a past Zelda, or a Zelda from the past. Um, and yeah, and the reason is obviously she has some sort of magical powers. We know Zelda has magical powers. The tear is obviously a huge one. And then, of course, she also has the same earrings. So I think that is enough for me to say, or at least give thought about this character being a past Zelda. So now that I've kind of compiled all the evidence, I think it is somewhat likely that Tears of the Kingdom will have some element of time travel to it. And the biggest reasons that I think this, mostly, is the Zelda, or the scene at the end of the trailer where Zelda says, "Link, come find me." And I just think that this is the most telling one to me, because obviously Link really should not have any issue finding her if she was in the same Hyrule as her. The only other really thing I could think of if she isn't in, or she is in the same Hyrule, is if Link gets stuck in the Sky Islands, maybe without his paraglider for the initial part of the game, and he has to get his paraglider back before he can come find her. But I just think that that is definitely a lot of leaps of logic, and I think it's doubtful that they take the paraglider from us for an extended period of time like that. So I think that is the piece of evidence that leads me to think that time travel is likely. I think it's likely that Zelda is in a different time period and that is why Link is having trouble finding her. Obviously, the Zonai characters are a really, really huge deal too, which also gives more credence to the theory. So, with that, I think I have given all my thoughts that I can in the scuffed format on time travel. So, that'll be it for this video. Thank you guys for watching the video. Like it if you like it, and subscribe for more. I'll catch you guys next time.